Welcome to F1 Sparks. In today's episode, we're diving into the age-old debate in Formula One. Is it the driver or the car that makes the difference? We'll be taking a closer look at Michael Schumacher's time with Ferrari, Lewis Hamilton's incredible run with Mercedes, and the current dominance of Max Verstappen with Red Bull. Also, we'll discuss Ferrari's recent performance in 2022 and how team and strategy errors have affected their results. In 1996, and after winning 2 world titles with Benetton, Michael Schumacher joined Ferrari and a team that hadn't won the Drivers' Championship in 17 years. Together with Jean Todt, Schumacher not only served as a driver but also played an integral role in the development of the car, ushering in a new era of dominance for the Scuderia. From 2000 to 2004, Schumacher won 5 consecutive championships with Ferrari. But was it the car or Schumacher's driving prowess that made the difference? According to a study by the University of Lethbridge, the biggest factor is not the driver or the car, but instead how the team and driver interact. There's a long-held belief, the so-called 80-20 rule in F1, that the car and team are responsible for 80% of race success, while the skill of the driver only accounts for 20%. What we find, however, is that the car and team's input has been greatly overestimated. Rather than 80%, it's closer to 20%. The driver's input accounts for roughly 15%. The biggest factor is more nuanced, and it's the interaction between the driver and team, which accounts for 30 to 40%. Random factors that occur during the race make up the rest. One of Schumacher's greatest abilities was to work with the team and push the car's development forward, which likely contributed to his success. Spending countless hours in the garage with the mechanics, Schumacher played an integral role not only in his superior, risk-taking driving style, but also getting his hands dirty to align that style with the mechanics of the car. Lewis Hamilton's career with Mercedes has been nothing short of extraordinary. Although Mercedes had a solid car, they were not yet title contenders, but with Hamilton in the team using his skill and experience, Mercedes won their first race in over 50 years in 2013 and have since dominated F1, winning 8 consecutive Constructors' Championships. Hamilton has been instrumental in developing and improving the car, proving a top driver is equally important. But is it Hamilton's skill or the Mercedes car that has made the difference? According to the same Newswise study, it's a combination of both. The car is still the most important factor, but Hamilton's ability to consistently outperform his teammates and rivals has been crucial to his success. The Mercedes team has also been able to provide him with a car that complements his driving style and adapts to the ever-changing regulations. Despite that, Nico Rosberg managed to snatch a championship from Hamilton in 2016 in the same car. Perhaps that was due to his racing pedigree, being the son of 1982 Formula One world champion Keke Rosberg. Now let's shift our focus to the current F1 scene, where Max Verstappen is dominating with Red Bull in 2023. Today, Red Bull and Max Verstappen demonstrate the necessity of both a competitive car and driver to achieve success. Red Bull has built a car capable of challenging for wins. But in the hands of Verstappen, the team has reached new heights. With a stunning 2023 season so far, Verstappen has utilised his immense talent to gain a competitive advantage for Red Bull. While Red Bull provides him the tools to win in a competitive car, his skill and racecraft have been the difference in multiple victories this season. But is this a case of a driver making the difference, or is the car the star of the show? While Verstappen's driving skills are undeniably impressive, aggressive and, some might argue, a bit risky, the car still plays a major role. Since 2021, Red Bull has consistently provided Verstappen with a competitive car developed by the genius of Adrian Newey, Red Bull's Chief of Technology, allowing him to showcase his talent and challenge for victories. But it's also worth noting that Verstappen has consistently outperformed his teammates, showing that driver skill still matters. A man whose opinion matters more than most is the most experienced driver in F1 history, Fernando Alonso. While his car this year is capable of challenging for podiums, last year the Spaniard was less competitive and remarked that there were just 4 drivers who could win. It's all about Red Bull and Ferrari, Alonso told NOS.nl. Only Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez can win. I don't know any other sport where it's like this. But while he admitted racing was more fun, he said car dominance has always been the case in F1. The Grand Prix have become more fun, and with these cars you can fight better. Still, I think it's too boring, but it's also part of F1. There will always be teams that are faster than others. An interesting example came in 2022, when Ferrari had a race-winning car as well as two of the most promising drivers on the grid, but failed to achieve the desired results due to team and strategy errors. This highlights an important aspect of the sport. Even with a competitive car and top drivers, success isn't guaranteed if the team can't execute the right strategies and support their drivers effectively. Ferrari's 2022 season serves as a prime example of how even with a competitive car and top drivers, a team can fall short without proper race management and decision-making while minimising errors. How do smaller teams catch up? The University of Lethbridge study noted that in the last 13 years, the season that most relied on driver skill was 2012, but even then, it only accounted for 16.7%. So how then do teams lower down the grid catch up and eventually challenge themselves? The study determined that money was the way forward. The study said a team that finishes on average 10th place every race would need to spend an additional $164.6 million to finish 9th place consistently. This would require an increase to both driver salary, which currently averages at $7.86 million per season, and team budget, which averages at $195.86 million. The necessary spending varies each season though, largely due to differences in the average team budgets and driver salaries. The amount also varies according to the existing team budget and driver salary due to the non-linearity of the relationship between expenditures and rank finish. But crucially, teams being able to spend enough to catch up has simply become impossible due to the cost cap. Now, teams are restricted to spending just $140 million per year, which, while it keeps the top teams from increasing their advantage, it does stop the others from catching up. So, what's the verdict? Is it the driver or the car that makes the difference in Formula One? As we've seen in the cases of Schumacher, Hamilton, Verstappen and Ferrari's 2022 performance, it's a bit of both. The car is undoubtedly the most important factor, but the driver's ability to extract the most from their machine, outperform their teammates and the team's execution of strategies are all crucial components. Ultimately, a successful partnership between driver and team results in the best outcomes. As Formula One continues to evolve, the balance between driver skill, car development and team performance will remain a key factor in determining success on the track. There are plenty of examples of drivers overperforming this season in slower cars, such as Alex Albon and Yuki Tsunoda, but with the cost cap rules as they are, the likes of Williams may have no hope of ever building a car that can challenge at the very top of the grid. Thank you for watching this episode of F1 Sparks. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more in-depth analysis and discussion of the world of Formula One. See you next time.